Nottingham Forest find themselves in a WWE-style fatal four-way for Gio Reyna. Welcome to your transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are well, and welcome to your latest Forest transfer news. In today's news, we'll give you the latest on Gio Reyna and what is he playing at. We'll tell you about a bid potentially coming on for Joe Worrall. Talk about Dennis and a couple of other rumours knocking around on players that might be coming to Nottingham Forest. Excuse me. In fact, let me have a quick sip. That was not planned. I honestly had to clear my throat. But just a quick shout out to Foco. I love this water bottle. I've actually got some chilled Happy Clapper juice in here. And this bottle keeps it chilled all day long. Or if you like hot drinks like your teas and your coffees, chuck it in there. And I believe it will keep it warm as well. It's 18 quid, but use code FFTV, just like it says right here on the link pinned in the comments and in the description. And there's loads of other Forest prices. They are all licensed as well, Forest products. So go check them out. I am fully recommending this beautiful Forest bottle. Anyway, let's get into this and let's talk about Gio. So, you know how I said like 90% in yesterday's video? I'm still sticking to it. I still am. But what's happening is basically, let me give you the analogy. He's showing cleavage, man. He's showing some cleavage to a lot of clubs. He's given the come F me eyes, you know what I'm saying? And there's been some interest. Marseille have come in and basically agreed personal terms with Gio as well. Now, that's kind of where we left you yesterday. Since yesterday to now, what's happened is that Forest have agreed personal terms with Dortmund for him. And then these bloody French idiots decide they're going to agree personal terms with Dortmund. And it gets more complicated as there is a further 2 unnamed clubs who are in for him and apparently have agreed personal terms with him and the club. Now, I don't know who they are, but the whispers I'm getting is one of them is Sevilla. How true that is, I don't know. The sources, shout out to the source, you know who you are. But anyway, let's just forget Sevilla. It could be Sevilla, but let's just say there's 4 clubs in for him. And there was talks as well that Aston Villa were interested. Now, Aston Villa haven't agreed terms. They haven't agreed with the player, nothing like that. But they have been showing interest over the January transfer window for him. So this one's getting a little messy. And basically the state of play right now is that Gio has to decide. So he's got the Forest offer, he's got the Marseille offer, potentially the Seville offer and the other club. And he's just going to have to pick his poison. Now, when you weigh it up, Marseille, Sevilla, etc. have European football. Forest don't. Marseille are one of the biggest turning over clubs in Europe. Fun fact for you there. Forest are not yet. So will Reyna choose Forest over Marseille, Sevilla, etc.? And I am still saying 90%, guys. I still am. Why? Because what are his motivations for moving? It's not to go and play in European football. It's not to, you know, sun himself out. It's to get football full stop. He can't guarantee at first place at Marseille. He won't be able to guarantee it at Sevilla. Remember, I'm just saying it's Sevilla here, just off one source. But at Forest, I think if Forest, as I said yesterday, have guaranteed him, in inverted commas, first team football, then I think we're the front runners. And I'm quietly confident that we will get him. So am I worried a little bit? Will I down dial from 90%? Yeah, I'll go like 82% confidence level on this one now. You've always got to, because you never know what the offers are. Now, what will happen as well is technically in a loan, they don't really have to negotiate too much on salary. The salary is usually discussed with the parent club. So say, for example, here between Dortmund and Forest, let's just say he's on 50 grand. They'll just discuss percentages. So Forest will say, right, we want to pay none of his wages and we'll take him and give you an option to buy. Dortmund will be like, really? You're paying 100% of the wages. And eventually they might meet at 50%. But where they'll negotiate with the player is maybe on goal bonus, assist bonus, things like that. Positions in the league that Forest may finish. So those are the terms and conditions that have been discussed and agreed upon. So they won't be deal breakers. It won't be like Marseille have offered him 3 times the wages of Forest. That's kind of not how it will work here. But the key to all of this is going to be Agent Mendes, because he is also Nuno's agent. Now, I know we've had some issues with him many moons ago, but he is still one of the best football agents out there. And with that connection, and you know, he's wined and dined with the big Greek father. So I'm going from 82% to 83%. That's a key point in all of this. But what do you guys think? Are you more or less confident that Gio's going to end up at Forest? Let me know in the comments down below. Okay, let's move on and talk about an exit that is getting ever closer right now. And that is for our Captain Planet Joe Worrall, who is looking more and more likely to be joining Sheffield. I just like, oh man. If it was me, I'd be like, if this is where it's come to, I'm just retiring. Who wants to play for Sheffield? Actually, go, because it's good money for us. But this is the problem right now. Sheffield have no money. And Sheffield are trying to put their coppers together. Sheffield are like the footballing equivalent of Dumb and Dumber. Remember in the film where they got the suitcases, they open it up, and he's like, where's the cash? And they're like, that's as good as cash. That's an IOU. Hold on to that one. 256,000. The car.
What is this? What is this? Where's all the money?
That's as good as money, sir. Those are IOUs. Go ahead and add it up. Every cent's accounted for. Look. See this? That's a car. 275,000. Might want to hang on to that one.
And that's kind of what Sheffield are like right now. They tried the IOU tactic with Nottingham Forest, as we told you the other day, trying to get him on loan. Forest basically gave him a slap and told him to go back up the M1. And now what they want is to buy him. And this is where I'm getting mixed reports. I'm hearing they have put a bid in. I have no idea how much it is. What I do know is that Forest valuation of Joe Worrall is 10 mil. Now, as much as I will enjoy ripping off Sheffield, I don't even think we can rip him off that much. So I think 10 mil will be the starting point. I think this ends up somewhere around 7, 8 mil, maybe 3.5 mil up front and the rest in add-ons, something like that. To be honest, I'm all right with it. Send him in as a double agent and confirm their relegation. That's my stance on it. my voice. So what do you guys feel about this one? There was interest, as we mentioned to you at the start of the window, from Rangers. That has gone a bit quiet currently, including the interest on McKenna as well. I still expect McKenna to go. I still expect you to see an escalation in these next few days of speed of transfers, as clubs will start to panic and will need to get players over the line. So what do you think? How much should we pull Sheffield's pants down for on Joe Worrall? Let me know in the comments down below. All right, let's move on to the next story. And this is a story I've been reluctant to bring up because I know what you lot are like, and I just can already guess what the comments are going to be like. But all right, let's just do it. Tavares is set to leave Nottingham Forest, because this story is going to be catnip to you lot. Well, maybe dognip. Anyway, so this is a bit weird, this one. So he kind of wants to go. Arsenal want to sell him, but Forest wants to keep him. And Forest don't, there's no break in the loan clause. Basically, Forest would have to agree to rip the paperwork up. And I don't know why they're not doing it. I said to you when we signed him, he was the one that I was like, nah, not this guy. But that aside, this is my conspiracy. Maybe we should do a conspiracy of the day. Will Marseille try and leverage Forest on the Gio Reyna deal to try and get Tavares to Marseille? Does that even make sense to you guys? So are Marseille only in for Reyna because what they really want is Tavares, and they're gonna strong arm Forest and be like, look, we'll back off Reyna if you give us Tavares? And if that is the case, I'd be like, where do we sign up? So that's my conspiracy theory for the day. And I think Forest should let him go. I've not seen enough from him. Nor, yes, I started from a position of biasy against him that I was like, nah, bruv, you're not the one. But he hasn't performed, in my opinion. He had, what, one good game in the first leg against Blackpool? I mean, I'd probably have a good game against Blackpool. But he's not been good enough. Yes, better attacking, terrible defending. We all know the rhetoric around him. So I say, if I'm Forest right now, yeah, I would say to Marseille, we will let Tavares go if you piss off on the Reyna deal. I mean, doesn't that make sense to you guys? Does that not make sense? Should that not be the tactic? Or do you guys think I'm barking up the wrong tree? Okay, sorry, let's move on. Okay, let's swiftly move on from this one and keep the Tavares, however you say his name, jokes out of the comments, please. Yeah, like you're gonna. Okay, let's move on to and in other news. And in other news, Emmanuel Dennis has gone back to Watford. It's confirmed. I don't understand the logic on this one. I'm sorry, I really don't. Nor do I understand the logic of the payment, because apparently he's taken a 70% pay cut to go back to Watford. Now, someone's going to have to explain this to me in the comments. How does that work? How does that literally work? Because I don't get it. Forest have to pay Dennis his wages, right? Let's just say, for argument's sake, he's on 30K, okay? Now, if he's in fact, let's call it 100K just to make the maths easier on this. So if he's taken a 70% pay cut, then Watford are paying him 30K. By the way, he's nowhere near 100K, right? Maths, just simple Wolverine maths it. So at no stage has the contract changed that Forest no longer own Dennis. Therefore, Forest will have to pay Dennis his wages. Therefore, how is he taking a pay cut when it's Forest who have to guarantee the wages and he's taking a 70% pay cut? There's something fishy in this one. I don't get it. Now, the only way I can think that would happen is that Forest had an agreement with Istanbul, who were paying 70% of the wages, and that Forest were paying 30% of the wages. Now, he didn't want to carry on with them, so Forest have basically said, we'll terminate that loan deal. Them and Istanbul agreed. We'll carry on paying 30% of the wages, and then Watford has said, we can't afford anything. In fact, that kind of makes sense now, doesn't it? Now, you see, this is why I love chatting to you guys. We work things through logically. Does that make sense or not to you guys? So does that mean that Forest's initial agreement with Istanbul was to pay 30%? We're geniuses. So that's Dennis done. I still don't know why Nuno didn't want to have a quick look at him anyway. And the other thing we got to talk about is there's a cup game tomorrow. Now, I'll be honest with you. Last time Bristol were of significance to me was when a certain pink-haired individual was bagging 2 in the last minute. Since then, I haven't given a crap about them. And that's with all due respect. I actually have no beef with Bristol City. They're just insignificant to me. Therefore, I'm not bothered about them or have any agendas against them. But I think they're a decent team from the 1.5 minutes I've seen of them since we last played them. They looked okay. Now, Forest are very thin on the ground when it comes to players for this Friday night's game. And my biggest worry about this game is the Arsenal game, because that's a quick turnaround onto Tuesday. I don't want any new injuries. I want our squad to come back, man. I was so annoyed that Ivory Coast went through. Sangare, Bolly and Aurier would have all been back in Nottingham today. God damn it, man. Now, their next game's on Sunday. So if they go out and they're playing Senegal, which of course is against Niakate and Chekiate. So it's like, who do you want? Do you want Ivory Coast out or do you want Senegal out? And are we just evil people for wanting these fine professionals who are there representing their country, who as kids dreamed of doing this? And we're there rooting against them, our own players. Well, I say I am. I'm horrible. I'm a horrible individual. But what do you guys think about this one? The problem is, it's like we are going to get some back, but we're not going to get the others. Here's my opinion. I want Senegal through because Niakate is injured. So we might as well let him recover over there and then the fit boys can come back in terms of Ibrahim Sangare, Bolly. Serge, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then maybe they can get the old Marinakis Airways and be back in time for Arsenal, because we damn well need a few players. So that's happening. But anyway, back to the Friday night game. Nuno has said there's no new injuries and no new recoveries. Morgan Gibbs-White, I feel, is close. I reckon if this was a league match, Morgan Gibbs-White would play. I don't want him anywhere near the pitch. Keep him fresh. Maybe give him like 15 minutes at the end of the game if we're winning or something like that. Chuck him on the pitch. Just to loosen up his minutes and legs, as we always say. But yeah, I think Morgan's being saved for the Arsenal game. In terms of Elanga, he didn't really give he kind of went a bit Steve Cooper on it. There was no real full update on it. So I think Elanga might be close, but I'm hoping the rumors I was hearing that he was out till March are completely wrong. But we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, so this is going to be the preview right here for the Bristol City match. I think we'll probably win or it'll be a draw. I don't think we just seem to struggle against these sweaty Championship Division 1 teams who just low block against us because we're the bigger team. So I think it'll be like a 1-0, 1-0. Am I that fussed if we go out? Yes, I would have been, but now I'm more worried about the Premier League with the PSR stuff going on. So I'm just like, if we beat them, cool. If we don't, just don't get any new injuries. Anyway, guys, that brings you up to date with your news and your preview and everything like that. Don't forget, go grab your Forest bottles, official licensed bottles. The link is pinned in the comments. And if you haven't already, please do hit that like button. Subscribe to Forest Fan TV if you are new. We'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.